Hello, everybody. Are you having a good day? So, I'm here today. My name is Julius Dean. I'm an online magician, a social media influencer, as you may call it. If you guys want to look me up, just type in Julius on Instagram or Facebook. And I make viral content that goes across different platforms. And it's a pleasure to be here today at Web Summit, where I have the opportunity to share with you my story, because it was not long ago, barely 2 years ago, that I was finishing my university degree at King's College London. And I was thinking, what am I going to do with my life? I had my mum on cell phone saying, Julius, when are you going to get a job? But instead, I wasn't focusing on the internship route. I was focused on the content route. I was focused on trying to make content online. So, if you guys haven't seen my content, I'm a magician. That's been my passion since I was a little kid. Oh, there I am. Oh, wow, who's that good-looking fella? Are you guys with me? Everyone say, yeah. Woo. Everyone say, woo. Everyone say, woo. That's good. Hey, guys, what's up? All right, so today I want to take you through the story of how I went from 0 to 15 million followers. That's the name of the title. I'm going to try and stick with that. But in order to do that, I'm going to run you through a little bit of background. So as I say, I was at university. Before that, I'd always taken an interest in magic. I'd always taken an interest in YouTube and social media platforms. And I always had in my mind, what if I could turn my passion for magic into an audience? So I've been doing magic since I was a little kid. Since I was 9 years old, I had a magic set. When I was 13, 14 years old, I started performing at birthday parties for my friends. When I got to 16, 17 years old, I got asked to perform at events. I thought I was killing life. Getting $300, $400 to perform at bar mitzvahs. Living the life. I told my mum, that's it, I'm done. I don't even want to go to university. Cash in hand. And then from there, I went to university, studied the degree in international relations. And what happened is I went to UCLA, so university in America, University of California, Los Angeles, and I met the Vine stars, the YouTubers who today, of today. And they'd all moved into Hollywood at the time. It's called Vine Street. All these Viners moved to Vine Street. The guys like Logan Paul, Amanda Cerny, some of the biggest, Cameron Dallas, some of the biggest social media stars in the planet. They all moved to Vine Street when they were 17, 18 years old to pursue social media. So I was down the road in Westwood at UCLA. They'd moved into Vine Street, and just through luck, I got into their circle. I started to see what these guys were doing. And they'd moved over there, and they'd started making content, and they'd created these audiences through their passions. For Cameron, it was modeling. For Logan, it was funny vines. Amanda was a mixture of both. But all these different social media influencers moved to Hollywood. I, however, did not move to Hollywood. I was studying at UCLA. So I did my year abroad, had a great experience, was inspired by all these content makers who were fulfilling their dreams, creating these audiences through their mobile phones. And I thought to myself, when I get back to London, I'm going to try this game. I'm going to try and become a social media influencer. I was kind of upset at myself, to be honest. I was like, wow, should have done that whilst I was at UCLA. I had every opportunity in the world. Everyone there's trying to film. But instead, I didn't do it. So I promised myself, when I got back to London, I was going to start creating content. And now I want to go through the process of my failures and how my successes, how I started to create some virality. And I'm hoping that you guys can learn something from me, and hopefully this can give you certain ideas. And let me tell you that when you see viral content on the internet, a lot of people will attribute that to luck. They think, that video's just gone viral through luck. And let me tell you that that is absolutely not the case. There are aberrational circumstances where viral content does go viral, but I've nailed it down to a formula that I'm going to go on to talk about during the duration of this talk. So what happened, I was at university and I was like, right, got back to London from UCLA. I was like, I've got to start creating content. So I hired a videographer, cost me $60, Craigslist, the equivalent in the UK is Gumtree. And I was like, I'm going to start creating content on the internet. What should I do? I'm a magician. So I was like, I'm going to put together these insane magic videos where I go out onto the streets of London and I film street magic. So I put all the money I had together from my university savings. I got some videographers. I went out and I filmed a bunch of magic videos. And then I learned iMovie, which is like a really basic form of editing software. And I was like, I have the production, which are the videographers. I've got basic editing skills. I'm going to put the content together. And then I put it online, put it onto YouTube. And let me tell you now, it was a catastrophic failure. Failure at its absolute max. I was asking all my friends and family to share my video on YouTube. And I wasn't getting any views. Like, really, the only views I was getting was from myself when I was refreshing it on the page. And that was really to make myself feel better. So, started on the YouTube platform. And I wasn't experiencing much success. Same for Instagram. No one was finding my content. That's the problem. No one was finding my content. So what I want to talk about today in the 10 minutes that I have, I want to talk about how you can create virality, how you can create that distribution mechanism. So what you need is two things. You need great content and you need great distribution. And when I say great content, what I mean by that is everything is crystal clear. Now, you've got to remember that every platform is different. And now we're getting into the crux of viral content and how to make online content. When I'm posting a magic video, I don't simply post the same video on YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram. Every video is curated to that particular audience. So when I'm making a Facebook video, I'll make it super snappy. I will not have any long introduction. I'll go straight into it. And over time, I began to learn this formula. So when I started making content, I started on YouTube. I wasn't experiencing the success. And then I thought to myself, right, let me try this video on Facebook. And now I want to move over to my journey in how YouTube was a catastrophic failure, moved over to the Facebook game, and that elevated my audience to another level. And now it's got to the point on Facebook where every month I'm going up 1 million followers. Just through these viral videos, I've created a formula where every video I post will now get 30, 40, 50, 100 million views on Facebook. And I post a video every 2 weeks or so, 95%. And I'm going to talk about that formula in a little bit, but I really want to just dig into the fact that it's very important to remember that when you're working with different platforms, it's important to consider those platforms. And what I mean by that is when you're using YouTube, you're tuned in usually. You're watching longer content. You're watching 5-10 minute daily vlogs filmed on high-end cameras. With Facebook, here's a very important point to consider. A lot of people are watching in the workplace. A lot of people are watching Facebook without sound. So one of the first things I learned in making a piece of viral content is you have to subtitle your content. If you guys are on Facebook right now, you type in my name, Julius, you'll see Julius Dean, D-E-I-N, I'll pop up. You'll see that every piece of content that I post is subtitled. That is so important. You have to present a picture to your audience, and you have to assume that they're not paying attention. The reason on Facebook you can get these super viral videos, I had a video in May, it has 210 million views. And the reason that you can create the viral content in such a high level as compared to YouTube is because the view is different to a YouTube view. A YouTube view is a much more engaged, click-through view, often by a subscriber. On Facebook, you've got a newsfeed system. So it's important to remember, clarity is so important in the viral video game, especially when there's no easier exit than the internet. And there's no easier exit than Facebook. All you've got to do is do a couple of scrolls, and boom, that's it. You've lost their attention. So that was one of my first revelations. So let me tell you what happened. So I started with Facebook, I started posting funny memes and prank videos. And initially, I was using a camcorder, or I was using my videographer's camcorder, A7S, high quality, $2,000-$3,000 cameras. And it was going okay. I was posting the content. It was good content. But you know what? Before I talk about that, I just want to talk about distribution before I talk about the actual content. So we've got distribution, and we've got the actual content itself. So I want to talk about, firstly, how I actually had no followers on Facebook, and then how I got to 7,000 followers overnight. Now, this is an important point to consider. Okay, if some of you in this room are trying to create content, you're probably thinking, well, how am I going to get my content to be seen? What's that first level? You guys feel me? Yeah, anyone thinking that right now? How are they going to get content seen? Give me a yeah? Yeah, okay. So this is the beautiful thing about working with different audiences, working with different platforms, and specifically where I blew up, which was on Facebook, which eventually leaked over to Instagram and YouTube. What you have to remember is that unlike YouTube, where you're working on an algorithm basis, content will appear in trending, or if you're lucky, you get in with a YouTube celebrity, you can do a collaboration, then you're going to gain followers and traction that way. The beautiful thing I found out about Facebook is that share button exists. And it does not exist just for your friends and for your family. It exists for pages that have 1, 2, 5, 10, 20, 50 million views. On Facebook, content can be shared. We all know that. But if you get in with the right community, you can have your video shared by that page. And that will take you to a new level if the content is right. And let me explain exactly what I mean by this. So my level 1 in creating content was I had no followers on YouTube, same with everyone, no followers on Facebook, and I thought, right, I need to get my content seen by people. So this is what I did. I reached out to every single page I could find on Facebook. And what I would do is I would click on a viral video. This is important, guys. This is how, if you guys are trying to make content right now, you're trying to get distribution, you're trying to get good distribution cheap, you're trying to get good distribution cheap, this is right now, this is the cheat, this is the black market, this is how you do it. So this is what I did. I had no followers, I had a couple, I had my mum, got my mum to like my page, got a couple of my friends to like my page. But what I did is I would go onto viral videos that were being shared. And you can see a viral video will have maybe, 100,000 or 1 million shares. And then what I would do is I'd scroll through all the people that had shared their video. And it's like every second someone is sharing. And all you got to do is go on one of those viral videos and you got to just look and click on a random stranger in the world that shared one of your videos. And that shared one of those videos. And then, because they have a public profile, because that's how you can see they shared it in the first place, you can see what they've shared. And you can see what pages they've shared. So that's exactly what I did. I was like, right, I've got to find pages that can possibly share my content. And this guys, is the trick to how you cheat the distribution. The problem with YouTube is that people cannot get that level up. But it's a different story with other platforms like Facebook. Because if you can find the right pages that are going to share your content and your content is good, then your content will explode on the internet. So let me tell you, it was February the 14th, 2016. I barely had a few thousand followers, and that had all happened. So what happened? Sorry, let me just go back. So what happened is I had 0 followers. I then made a good video, like a little prank type video, just like a silly video. I put it on Facebook. I reached out to hundreds of pages. I sent them the same generic message. It was like, guys, I'm a magician. I've got great content here. Can you please share it? And mostly, I got ignored. Some pages came back with a fee. Some fees were expensive. They charged me thousands of dollars to share the content. Some were more reasonable. They charged me like $50, $100, $200. And then I had a random page called Mayor Boss. If you guys want to look it up, stalk him, 6 million followers. I don't know why he did it. Shout out to Mayor Boss. He's definitely not in the room right now. Some guy who lives in Canada. But he was a page. He just posted funny memes. Had 6 million followers. He clicked the share button, right? On my funny prank, I was proposing to strangers. It was just the video I made on a camcorder. Anyway, instantly, that video went semi-viral, got several 100,000 views because it was reshared, because it was posted on that big page. And all of a sudden, my page went from 1 million, from 100 followers to 7,000 followers. And I was so excited. I was like, wow, this is crazy. I've made it. I've got thousands of followers. And at the same time, because I had my Snapchat in the corner, I started to get some Snapchat traction. So I made Snapchat the week before. All of a sudden, I had a few thousand followers on Snapchat, all from this viral video. And then I was like, right, this is how you do it. The way you do this is by finding bigger pages to share your content. And the beautiful thing about the platform Facebook that I blew up on, that's my biggest platform, is that because of the level of traffic, because you're getting, if you can achieve virality and get 1 million, 5, 10, 20, 30, 50 million views, if you can push in the right way, you can leak it across to your other audiences. But I'll come to that in a moment. So I had 7,000 followers. And then I carried on this mechanism of making content, reaching out to pages, and asking them to share my content. And over time, I built up a little database of people that I could just hit up. And you should have seen me in my room. Like, I was wired in to like this idea that if I make a piece of content, I don't have to try and collaborate and like Instagram DM Vine stars. Instead, I can just message pages that probably, not doing that, probably get way less messages than Vine stars. So I started reaching out to those pages. And then what happened is I basically created all these relationships, and then what happened, it was February the 14th, I come back now, February the 14th, 2016, I made this funny girlfriend-boyfriend sketch, and then what happened is I got a big page to share that video. So I created the relationships through outreach. I created a good piece of content. This is so important. You need to have good pieces of content that I'll talk about briefly in a bit, what makes a good piece of content, but the distribution is the most important part. So I had this video, just this girlfriend-boyfriend funny sketch. I posted it on Facebook. It's doing really well to my 10,000 followers or so. It was getting some like shares, some likes, and I reached out to a big page, and I was like, yo, you've got to share this video. He shared that video. That video got 80 million views in 2 days. My page went from 10,000 followers to 500,000 likes overnight. My Snapchat and Instagram in the left corner blew me up to 50,000 Snapchat followers overnight. My Instagram was the same. And all of a sudden, I went from some kid who just finished university trying to make content to someone that had a pretty reasonable audience. Had like 50,000 Snapchat followers, had like, 50,000 Instagram followers, 500,000 Facebook followers. It was serious. And that is what created the momentum. I was like, damn, this is crazy. If I can keep creating types of content on Facebook, I can go up the ladder of success on Facebook and get bigger and bigger and bigger. And as I say, now it's just become a formula. But I'm going to talk about the viral part in a minute. But I want to carry on talking about the distribution very briefly first. So what happened then? So I was on 500,000 Facebook followers. And I basically found a content that works. I want to talk about this very briefly. This is really important. When I say content that works, as I say, I've touched on it briefly, you want to subtitle everything, you want to make everything super clickbait. If you have something that's very unclickbait, that's like a boring photo, then it doesn't get the same amount of engagement. But if you have something really exciting, like I posted a magic video last week for Halloween that got 40 million views on Facebook, and then Facebook, they blacklisted it because it was called gory Halloween magic, and it was like a little bit gory. Did a magic trick where I like cut my finger off, and it was just a magic trick, but Facebook, I think that the guy sitting there probably thought it was real. But anyway, got capped at 40 mil. But it was a shame, but it happened. Anyway, the point is, that thumbnail was really captivating. It was a girl like that, and it was like a stick through my tongue. So I'm not suggesting that if you guys are running huge brands right now, you have, screaming girls and sticks through tongues. But what I'm saying is very important to have a clickbait thumbnail. That's so important, because if you have that thumbnail, then when people are scrolling, they're going to click on it. So let me run through this quickly, because I've only got 5 minutes. Clickbait thumbnail, you want to subtitle everything. This is the most important revelation of my entire career. This is actually when things got serious, when I really started to create my magic brand, which is what it is today. So when I started February the 14th, 2016, I was making pranks, I was doing sketches, I was doing a bit of magic. But over time, I perfected my brand to what I want it to be, which was my passion, which is magic. And what I did, this is the big revelation, guys. People on social media, often they're trying to use high quality cameras. They're trying to use like $2,000, $5,000 cameras. I need you to know that that does not need to be the case. I went to Italy. It was May 2017. I brought with me my friend, a magician called Neil. Shout out Neil, he's definitely not here, who's holding the camera. Bought a bunch of magic tricks, prepared this video. I filmed it all on my phone. I filmed it portrait style. You film it portrait on Facebook, it's going to come up bigger. It's going to come up bigger. You film it like this, it's going to come up smaller. Very important point. If you guys are running ads on your Facebook pages, just know that if you're taking a picture where you're talking to the camera, you're taking a video, it's going to come up bigger. So you're paying for more, same amount of money for more amounts of space. Just a little point for you guys. Anyway, I started using my phone. I ditched cameras, and I started doing types of content where it was real personal. So if you guys are on Facebook or Instagram and you look me up, you'll see almost entirely, unless it was like a TV show or obviously like proper cameras, it's almost entirely filmed on Facebook on my phone. So that's A, have a phone. B, you want to subtitle it. And C, this is so important for virality. Almost all the videos I see are in the not every video, there are definitely some without, but it seems to be the case that when you're making viral content, compilations kill. And what I mean by that is now, back in the day when I started social media and I was making YouTube videos, I would put my efforts into creating one trick. Instead now, what I'll do is I'll have a title like New York reacts to magic, or Italy reacts to magic, or Halloween magic, or I'm going to India in 2 hours, so it's going to be Mumbai, which is going to be awesome. But anyway, the point is, I won't do one thing, I'll do multiple things. So whether you guys are running a food brand or you're running a mental health brand, when you're aiming for viral content, right, try to have compilations, just see how it works. Like, I see it all the time in different formats, whether it's viral sketches that have like multiple hits, or it's a magic video, or it's some type of message where you're talking about how to achieve your dreams. If you have it in a compilation style, it just tends to go so much more viral. And now, as I say, it's down to a formula. Every video I post, with the exception of yesterday, I posted my clip on Steve Harvey. I did the Steve Harvey show in LA last week, which was a longer style video. I wanted that on my page because I thought it looked really cool. But every single video now is smashing 40, 50, 60, 100 million views on Facebook, all through this formula. But that's the content side. I want to go back to the distribution for the final point. So this is how you grow from 1 mil to 13 mil, right? So it's called, real simple, it's called share for share, right? And when you get to 100,000, 200,000, 500,000 followers, even 10, 20,000 followers, this is my advice to you. Reach out to other pages that have the same amount of following as you, and you do what's called a share for share. So what I would do is when I have a good video, and now that when I was on 1 million followers, I would find pages who are on 1 million followers. Reach out to them and say, hey, you share my video, I share your video. We both hide the video from our main timeline so no one could even see it. And boom, that's it. You're going to have, all of a sudden, a boost on your video. You don't have, no ads, nothing, just share for share. So that's what happened. And as I created more viral content, I went from 1 million to 2 million to 5 million to 10 million. And it's the same formula. Share for share. Now, on 13 million likes, I'll reach out to pages who are on 8, 9, 10, 13 million likes, and I'll get them to share my content, and I share them back. This is the black market of Facebook. And as you create these viral videos, you move them over to the other platforms. So I'll just give you one quick, just want to talk about Instagram. I've only got a minute left, but hopefully this has been very helpful. Just want to talk about how I blew my Instagram to just under 3 million Instagram followers. And 2 million of those were in the last 3 months. And this is it. Have an exciting call to action. So this is what happened. So I was building these Facebook videos. I got the formula. I built the audience. The videos were going viral. But I still wasn't hitting my mil on Instagram. It was really upsetting. Like, I just wanted that, that 1 mil. It's like a placard. So then what I did is I changed my call to action on the end of my videos. So I was in a fortunate position because I've been able to create these viral videos now, but I wasn't able to boost it to Instagram, move it to Instagram. So what I did is I'd have an interesting call to action. So rather than saying, guys, go follow me on Instagram, instead, in my last 5 videos, that every video now is boosting my Instagram 100, 200,000 followers a video, I would say, guys, there's been a lot of people making fake Instagram accounts of me. So make sure to follow my real Instagram, @JuliusDean. And for some reason, my Instagram just exploded. So that's my advice to you. Try and have interesting call to actions rather than a boring. And I guess the point there is try and have something that people want to see. People might want to see, like, why is this guy lying? Is it true he's got fake Instagram accounts? Like, they clearly believe me or they want to check it out. It was more exciting. And the final point I would say for Instagram, if you're trying to grow your Instagram following, is same as Facebook, reach out to those pages that share content. WorldStar now, I've got a relationship with them. They'll use my content on Instagram. Now every time they post one of my clips, I go up 50,000 Instagram followers. It's crazy. So that's my advice to you guys. I hope that was helpful. I hope you can take something from my talk and how I created an online audience. And thank you very much. My name is Julius Dean. Cheers, guys. Bye.